I'm surprised Disney didn't sue their ass.
What's wrong with you, man?
I can't understand any of this. Welcome back, everyone. If you haven't watched part 1 of obscure progressive rock instrumental albums, then click on the link in the description below and we'll wait. Okay, just hit pause, watch it now, and come back when you're done. In this video, we're going to be discussing 5 more obscure progressive rock instrumental albums in no particular order. So let's dive in once again. Keyboardist Rick van der Linden left Dutch band Exception in 1973 to form prog trio Ace. Insert your Emerson, Lake and Palmer likenesses here. The band would have to change their name to Trace since a British band snagged it first and released the yacht rock hit How Long that my mother-in-law listens to. They slapped a T and R in front of Ace, and thus the band Trace was born. At least that's what I assumed happened. Much like Exception, Trace would keep the classical influences, making their 1974 self-titled debut a high-energy keyboard-driven album. It is a nice mix of organ, piano, and synthesizers. Van der Linden's playing is very frenzied at times, which I love, but it can cause a little ear fatigue. Ear fatigue is a real thing. Wake up. Wake up. This is a very satisfying album and a must-have. Trace would release 2 more fantastic albums, even with some vocals. In the early 1970s, Belgian band Recreation was a staple in the underground progressive rock movement. Recreation was a trio led by organist Jean-Jacques Falaise. Insert your Emerson, Lake and Palmer likenesses here. Okay, we get it. Since they released both of their albums on one CD, I'm going to talk about both of them. Their self-titled debut album is a very satisfying organ-driven laid-back affair, with the first half featuring 3 original songs and the second half consisting of 3 covers: Summer in the City by the Lovin' Spoonful, California Dreamin' by the Mamas and Papas, and Reach Out, I'll Be There by the Four Tops. I talked about the second album, Music or Not Music, in my Prog Tag 2024 video. It moves from one weird song to another, which could be considered avant-garde or just plain schizophrenic. There is even a song titled And the Producer Got Mad. These albums are 2 different listening experiences, but I enjoyed them both, and I think you will too. Dutch band Finch was formed in 1974. They intended on finding a lead singer, but nothing worked out, so they continued on as an instrumental outfit. Their debut album Glory of the Inner Force was released in 1975. The album consisted of 4 long songs featuring fantastic interplay between the guitar and keyboards. The album is somewhat symphonic with jazz rock leanings. This is a case of a new band bringing well-developed songs to the table and really going for it. Probably a good thing they did not find a lead singer, because it would have taken away from their exciting compositions. Finch would follow up with 2 more instrumental albums on par with the first, Beyond Expression in 1976 and Galleons of Passion in 1977. I have all 3 albums plus live and demo recordings on this box set called Mythology. This would make a great addition to any prog collection. Italian group Goblin came out of the ashes of Cherry 5 that produced a one-off album in 1975. Upon formation, Goblin would jump right into the soundtrack game for many Italian horror movies. Their most notable score was for the 1978 George Romero film Dawn of the Dead, which is not just a good zombie movie, but a good movie in general. Someone once told me that if there was a brain-eating zombie apocalypse, that I would have nothing to worry about. I'm not sure what they meant by that, but I was comforted nonetheless. Anyways, Roller was one of 2 non-soundtrack albums Goblin released in the 70s. Roller was released in 1976 and featured mostly progressive instrumentals with some new age and funk mixed in for good measure. Each song is different from the one before due to varying styles. I cannot pronounce the title of their other non-soundtrack album, but in English it is called The Fantastic Voyage of the Beetle Mark, which is a concept album about a flying bug named Mark, and it does feature vocals. Italy is known for excellent prog, and Goblin's Roller is no exception. Formato is a band from Slovakia, and once again the CD liner notes are in Slovak, so I can't understand a flippin' thing. Formato znamena hudobnam. I still don't understand any of this. They did include the original sleeve notes translated to English in this package, which not only describes what the musical term Formato means, thanks for being thorough, but also probably gives the most sterile description of an album I have ever read. Then the rhythmical model of Azzinato represents the rush for shopping, beating of carpets, and the solo of the synthesizers is the wording of gossipy women neighbors? Are you serious? Who's gonna listen to this? Their debut self-titled album came out in 1975, which I would classify as jazz fusion in the vein of Mahavishnu Orchestra. I struggled a little with Mahavishnu Orchestra, but Formato was slightly more accessible for me. There is some really standout musicianship here, with, once again, guitar and keyboards trading off leads, but when they play together, it is some of the album's best moments. Formato would go on to record many albums to critical acclaim. This is certainly a must-have for any jazz fusion aficionados. Well, I really enjoyed revisiting these albums, and I hope you did too. If there's any albums that I missed, let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Their debut self-titled album came out in 1975, which I classify as jazz fusion in the vein of dang it.